It was a rough ride to the resort tonight. I was the only one on the boat, and I wish there'd been more just to weigh it down. Walked around the place before dinner. There's the building I'm staying in. Opted out of the cabanas, either on the garden or on the ocean side. I like the villa instead.
I'm staying in the villa again. The room we like over there is the captain's room, and it's currently taken, so this is the villa. A lot of wind tonight. It was a really rough boat ride. I'm in the dolphin room by myself, which is fine, and this will be an explanation as to why it's called the dolphin room. There they are over there. It's kind of pretty too.
We'll take a little hike along the seawall before breakfast. The resort's doing some things that we're not completely happy with. I'll have to admit it. They've been going on forever, and I think this is probably going to be our last trip here. Just too much stuff up in the air that things we're not comfortable with.
I've made friends with El Capitan. Unfortunately, he also likes to jump on arms, which he got me. Well, I've spent the morning reconnaissance work, walked the perimeter of the island as much as we can. Discovered a couple of pods of tarpon under a couple of docks, so I'm going to try that this morning. Maybe go out in the kayak this afternoon to the other island. Tides are not good right now. Boy, do we love this ground cover. It's just gorgeous. It's purple on the underside and green on the top side, but it's beautiful stuff. I'm sure it must have been introduced because I don't think it could possibly be native to the island.
Over to what's called Little St. George, which is an island that's for sale but completely unbuilt and unoccupied at the moment. We fish off the dock a lot here. It's gives you about a 270-degree view of water that's very fishable.
Well, it's good news at least. It's typically smallish Belizean bonefish, but a bonefish is a bonefish, and we'll take them every time. Let's get this guy unhooked and back in.
The island's full of fish-eating seabirds. Pelicans are common, brown ones, and cormorants also. This guy's about to make a dive for something, and we hope he's caught his dinner. If not, he'll be back for more shortly.
Yeah, Capitan's joined me for a walk again. I think he finds me every morning when I walk around the island, despite his having torn my arm up yesterday. It was all in friendliness, though. Well, it's early morning. I'm going to small fly, but the fish aren't all small flies. That's a really nice snapper. I hope he didn't swallow it. Boy, is he heavy. It's got to be at least a good pound and a half. Well, I've got a school of good-sized snappers. I can catch a fish in every cast. This is going to get old quickly, but it's been kind of fun so far. Taking a picture of what's happily a lip like a barracuda. Not a big one, but I don't like his teeth either. Yeah, I'm going to have to go to a different place. Look at the barracuda. None of them are real big, but they're all big enough to take my line and cut it in half. Well, the first halfway decent fish of the day is a bone, which is nice. I see him down there. There he goes. Dock, please. There we go. There's another one of those typical little fun, but small Belizean bones, and we'll take them every time because they're a whole lot more fun than the rest of the stuff we've been catching so far. Well, I think we're getting closer to it. I've come a long, long way offshore, probably a mile and a half. I've been told by some locals there's a sandbar out here that has some permit on it. So I see the sandbar. We'll see if we find any permit. Well, if nothing else, it's an interesting place. Quite shallow water. Not everywhere, but we're a long ways offshore. Well, the reef was a dud. The sandbar, it's unwaitable. It's way too soft. Sink in and get completely stuck. So I'm going to drift back and troll all the way back and suspect nothing else is going to happen. But we'll try it on the dock tonight. See if we can catch a tarpon. Oh, I wish I'd gotten a picture of that. I would swear it was a giant trevally. The thing had to be 40 or 50 pounds. Look at this. Look at the tarpon got beaten up. I hooked this little guy, and the trevally took it. He dropped it, and he came back and picked it up again. But now this thing's going to be dead. Boy, is that fascinating. What a fish that was. Gone again. What a pretty sky. Windy this morning too, and a hungry pelican. I'm gonna make a few casts for tarpon and see what happens. Well, another nice snapper, but a different species. Let's get him off. This is the leftovers from the British training base, submarine training base that was here once. It's for sale. I don't know what anybody would do with it, but maybe someone's got an idea. They finally hired a full-time gardener. He's done an amazing job. This place is really, really beautiful. Lots of different styles of plants. The hedges have grown up. These things blew up from before we were here when we weren't here during the COVID thing. So this place is really well kept up. El Capitan followed me home today. I don't know what I'm going to do with him. I don't think he's going to be welcome inside, but he seems to want to hang for a while, so we'll see what happens. I miss our doggies. I'm heading out to my little island again, right around the corner to the left. I've given up trolling here. I may do it on the way back if I'm desperate, but there are so many barracuda this year. It's just awful. It's a pandemic of barracuda. Oh, this was a peppy nice bone. I guess this one's going to be about 3 pounds or so. Oh, come on, come on. Just want to let you loose. But you've been fun. Probably the best fish of the trip so far. That wasn't a barracuda. Oh boy, yeah, you're tough. Ooh, Canadian bone. Big one for Belize. Yeah, that's a really good fish. Really nice. I'm going to go play somewhere else right now. It's a nice little kind of green body, pink-headed gotcha. Okay, here's another one. Smaller, but I've got to find my forces, which I just knocked off my shirt when I was getting this one in. Okay, we'll make a note about things we don't like about this place, because I've had to use rope that I scavenged off the beach just to repair this kayak seat. You can't pedal any kind of distance without it, so this is not a good thing, but it's lucky.
Re-rigging again. The water here is a little bit deeper than normal bonefish water. I've got to go down about 10 feet, so we're putting on gotchas and crazies with little lead eyes.
Well, we finally hooked the object of the desire. That's another nice little bonefish. He's not a big guy, and that's pretty common here, but let's get this guy in and get him off and get him happy feeding on something else other than the fly. There's a tired little bonefish. Later in the day.
Spent a lot of time working the water on this little St. George's Caye. It's pretty much devoid of people except when a few paddlers come by. And there are quite a number of bonefish here. It's not overwhelmingly great, but it's a whole lot better than it is on a big island.
A couple casts later, we've got another piece of bone on. This one feels a little stronger. He's out there a little bit taller. Didn't get him in my backing, but yet. Oh boy, there he goes. Let's see what happens. Shut it down for a second. That's a beauty. Now I better show you the fly. It's just a little root beer gotcha with some yellowish and brown or black pupil lead eyes to get it down a little deeper. Well, this isn't going to be one of the little guys. Oops. Let's get this little guy in right now. I hope he's got a mouth hook in him too. Oh dear. Yep, he does. Well, it's not a bad fish, but his mouth lip hook, which we love. So you don't want to hurt any of these guys. So we love these things. And there he goes. Happy little camper. Me too. It's been a heck of a nice morning. like maybe one of the better ones I've ever had on the island for bonefish. Come on, this is not going to be a big guy either. Well, here's an interesting mystery. Obviously, these are traps of some sort. I see them rotting along the shoreline in a lot of places. People that own this island apparently have popped them up here. I don't know what they are or what they used to catch. Obviously, they have catchment shapes, so some of them have netting too, like that one down there. But apparently it's something that the government, I assume, is deemed illegal, so they're not in the water anymore. Well, this is the island's end of the hike. That's where I fish on the other side of those mangroves over there, and we will head back to the lodge. Our last hike on this island forever, I suspect.
The main dock that we used to be able to fish off in the morning early before breakfast and also at night after dark, and hooked many a tarpon here and landed a few and lost quite a few, I would say. Now it's populated with guys who are using bait, and they're cleaning the place out, so not with tarpon, but they're catching everything else, and the tarpon have pretty much disappeared. So that's another reason we're probably not going to be back here again. This kind of operation is that it's got an ocean side and a lagoon side, so if you've got tremendous winds out in the ocean side like we seem to have today, you can walk out the back door and take a hike down the beach and see what you got out back, which is still water. It's great. It's a quick shot of the backside of the cabanas that are over the water in the lagoon. We don't recommend them. They're because they're on the lagoon side, there's no breeze flowing through them, and they're also too close to the generator, which is very noisy at night. That's it for the trip. It was interesting, kind of fun, and kind of glad to be done.